Daddy Show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's main event. Dropkick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, what is up? Oh, Captain, my Captain, show the stuff. Power slammer, suplex 2. Hot garbage is just for you. Big breaker, cut a cold red. Figure 4, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark back here with you yet again on another Friday. Happy Friday to you, kids, one and all. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you've had a great week. I've had a pretty good week. Do I look tired? I didn't get much sleep last night. Can I be straight with you? I didn't get much sleep last night, man. It's kind of a long night for me. But you know what? It's all good because we're going to have a good show. We got lots to talk about here today. But yeah, how are you? How's everything going on your end of the world, wherever you are in the world? We've got folks that watch from all over the planet, actually. So kudos to you for hanging in there with us, of course. And we appreciate you guys very much. Thanks, as always, for, hanging out with us and giving us your time and attention. It means loads to us. I have dropped in the bottom, you can see in the chat there, a link to our YouTube. So if you will, go check out Boink Studios on the YouTube, kids. You'll find the main event video and audio versions both. And you will also find a plethora of other podcasts. Tom Clark 6M Podcast, Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast, Tom Clark Reviews, and Bear Mode, a podcast review of The Bear. That one's a brand new show, just started. We just dropped season 1, episode 1 this past Wednesday. New episodes drop every Wednesday, actually, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure that you are subscribing. You can get the audio versions wherever you get your podcast at. And, of course, the video versions you can get right there at that address that you see before you, right there in the chat, kids. That's right, the Boink Studios on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@Boink Studios. Or if you got the app, just go in the app, search for the Boink Studios. You'll notice when you see us, it's a red and white logo, and my mug is pasted all over that thing, baby, from top to freaking bottom. All right? So, yeah. Again, hope you guys are doing well out there, man. We got loads of stuff to talk about here today. We're going to get into the AEW Forbidden Door preview. We've got some folks filtering in right now. Before we get started, kids, if you will, as always, please like and share this on your feed. And, of course, as we said, please, if you will, follow on the YouTube and check out boinkstudios.com. Now, let's get to it. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about here today. And, again, we're going to preview AEW Forbidden Door. Josh McManus is here. Good to see you. My friend Ray Allday is in the crowd. And, again, kids, we're just now getting started, and folks are still coming in. And we hopefully will get a good crowd today. It's not a holiday or anything like that, so everyone stay tuned. Well, I mean, it's a pro wrestling holiday weekend, I guess you can say, yeah? But, yeah, again, kids, if you will, just share this on your feed. Like that. Give us a heart, if you will. That would mean loads to us. Please and thank you. So, what comments do you have today about Forbidden Door? What are you thinking? Here's what we're going to do. I want us to talk. We're going to preview the card here, right? But I want us to talk, mostly about two big stories that are coming out right now. Will Ospreay for one, Swerve Strickland the other. And here's what I'm going to tell you, kids. We talked actually on last night's edition of Peaches and Power. I was actually Peaches Powerbomb's tailgate party. So big thank you to Marie and Ray for having me on the show last night. We had a lot of fun. And here's what I'll tell you. There rumors abound, rumors aplenty, that Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are going to be out after Forbidden Door takes place this coming Sunday. According to SI, Sports Illustrated to you lot, Will Ospreay, says he is compromised heading into his lights out cage match. He did say that in his promo this past Wednesday. In an interview with The Takedown on Sports Illustrated, Ospreay spoke for the first time in detail about the injuries that are currently plaguing him the worry he has for the future, and so on and so on. He said, quote, I am compromised. I've got a few herniated discs pushing against my spinal cord, which is affecting a couple of my nerves, but I can do stuff and I can perform one last time before I need to go get it all corrected. So yes, we do expect that Forbidden Door will be the last time we see him for a while. He went on to say, I got told after All In that I was going to need rest and take some time off to see how this is going to go. And then the MRIs came back and I got told this is worse than what we thought it was going to be. But that's manageable. It's manageable. It's absolutely fine. The surgeon even told me that it's not going to get any worse. It just needs to be corrected. And so, yes, he will be there Sunday. But he has been trying to reassure the fans. He says he's got a big medical team around him and guys that work inside AEW. They're not going to let him go to the ring and risk anything. So hopefully, kids, he'll be fine on Sunday. Look, there's some things you can do in the ring to where you're okay. Does he need to bump? He doesn't need to bump. Will he bump? He'll probably bump. But honestly, he really doesn't need to. They could take him out early, which I know is kind of maybe cheap if you really want to see the guy. He's going to be at the O2 in England, right? So, like, you don't want to see the guy not be in the match, yeah? But at the same time, Will's got to take care of Will. He's got to be sure he's okay. And I hope what he says is true, that AEW is not just going to go out there hurt and risk any further injury. So, again, fingers crossed. Hope everything goes well. I'm really looking forward to that match this coming Sunday, and we'll see how it all plays out. He says, I know what lies ahead, and I know what's going to be coming after this. I just don't know what that looks like. People that have said after this, like, there's things that you're going to have to say no to, and there's things that you're going to have to turn or to tone down with my style, and it's not computing in my head because I feel like I'm in good shape right now. Here's what I'll tell you about Will. And you guys know about Will Ospreay. You know he's balls to the wall. There's no other way to really put it. Sorry, it's so blunt, but he's balls to the wall. Okay. He only knows one speed, and that's 1,000 miles an hour. It's how he works. It's how he's always worked. Okay. And, you know, at some point, and we say this about all the top guys who work that way, at some point, you got to start thinking about the future. It looks like that's Will Ospreay's time to think about the future is right now. And you know what? If this is okay, if he's okay and the surgery is a success and everything's great, then yeah, maybe it is time to slow down. Is that going to affect how we view him in the ring? Is that going to affect, you know, him as a worker? Is it going to affect how you perceive him to be, whether or not you pull for him? None of that stuff none of that's going to matter. The most important thing right now is his safety and his health and his physical well-being, and of course his mental well-being, right? But, you know, there is a line there for a lot of these guys and gals that if they feel like if they can't be at 110%, if they can't be the guy that the fans love and have come to know, they're not going to go back out to the ring again. You know, is Ospreay going to have to alter his game? Is he going to have to, you know, adjust the way he works moving forward? Yeah, he probably is. And what's wrong with that? I think that's fine. I think that's great. We want Ospreay to work another 20 years. I do, don't you? So, like, the most important thing right now, again, is his health. For sure. Will, everything's going well, my friend. Good to see you. JP's here. Says should be an awesome pay-per-view. I agree. Scott Larson, excuse me, hashtag truth. I tried to get your show name and your name in one fell swoop and failed miserably. Hey, man, I appreciate your words, Scott. I appreciate you. That means a lot. Thank you, my friend. Sometimes here's what I'll tell you, kids, real quick. A good word from you to a friend or to a family member, whatever, can mean the world. So give somebody a good word today. How about that? Fernando says, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, sir. Fernando says, Will Ospreay can't change his style. Sure he can. He has to. He has to, Fernando. He doesn't have a choice. We want Ospreay to continue working. Ospreay's got to think about his kid and his wife. He has to. He's got to think about himself. He wants to work long term. He's got to change his style. It doesn't mean that it all changes. But, you know, this is a random comparison. But you guys remember back in the day when Randy Orton was with Evolution and everything? He did that off the top rope drop kick. He stopped. You want to know why? He had to. His game changed. Do you miss that drop kick? Now, I get it. Ospreay compared to Orton, you can't really compare his apples to oranges the way those two guys work. Ospreay's entire shtick is I'm 1,000 miles an hour. I bounce off the walls. That's how I work. That's who I am. So if you tell me that guy's going to change his whole game from top to bottom, yeah, that'd be a culture shock. I don't think you're going to see that. Well, Ospreay can flat out mat wrestle. We tend to forget that about him because he is off the top rope and he is springboard and he is doing all this other stuff. But his finishers are ground based, so I think it's going to be fine. Again, he's got to do what's best for him. We want him to be around for a good long time. Scott says Will is always going to be great. He will just have to pick and choose the big bumps. 100% agree. Ray says all I care about is his health. He's a warrior, and I hope he adjusts his style. Thank you, Ray, for your kind words. Do I think Jericho's headed back to the WWE? I do believe he'll go back at some point, yes. Do I think it's right now? I don't know. His contract's up at the end of the year, I think. We'll see. We'll see. JP says maybe knowing this is going this match for a while, Will is going to let it all out on Sunday. I think he will to a certain degree, but according to him, that it's not getting any worse. His injuries aren't getting any worse. Now, if he goes out and goes through 3 tables on the hard concrete floor, we'll see. We'll see. I just want the guy to be okay. Belinda, I'm good. I hope you are. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let's talk a little bit now about Swerve Strickland. This is part 2 of the story, okay? And all right, so let's look at this. Swerve Strickland, it was revealed this past week. It may have been revealed before then. He's been dealing with a legitimate injury since 2019 when he was in WWE. And we talked about this last night on Peaches and Power Bombs. And Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful has reported that Strickland is working with a torn meniscus and that it's not a new injury. We did talk about this last night. He's had a tear in his meniscus since his first time at the WWE Training or Performance Center in 2019. He rested the injury for 4 weeks and was able to return to TV. And now appears that after, 5 straight years of this, 6, whatever the number is, that it's time to address the injury. Supposedly he is working with the medical staff from Jacksonville Jaguars and, helping him with his recovery. And the report that came out states there's a possibility he could require surgery and time off in the near future. Now, it's not been confirmed by him. That's worth stating. Whereas Ospreay's flat out said, yeah, I'm going to have to be, I got to get this addressed. And if if Will has commented, I've not seen it. Okay. So there's been no word from the guy himself as of this point in time. But can this company stand to lose Swerve and Ospreay in at the same time at one time? That's a big thing, man. That's a lot to ask, okay? A lot to ask. Can they stand to lose these two? I want to know what you think. Everybody here, hit me in the comments. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you guys think about this. Let's cover it. Let's give me your true thoughts and feelings on this, man, because I genuinely want to know what it is you guys are thinking when it comes to this. As AEW, we know they got a packed locker room. We know they got some of the best wrestlers on the planet. Okay, that's not hyperbole. That is 100% true, dude. So, we know that this company's on their game in terms of their roster, their talent roster, right? But can they survive without, let's say, Swerve's out for 6 months. Let's say Ospreay's out for 6 to 9 months. What are we looking at? Do you know what I mean? How you guys feel about that? I got thoughts. Right? We did talk about this. Ray pointed out that Orange has got to, we said this last night, Orange has got to come back. They need Orange Cassidy. They need Eddie Kingston. They needed Danhausen. I mean, I know Danhausen's not on the same level, but he could have been. But I guess Danhausen's on his way out. That's the scuttlebutt that when his contract's up, he'll be gone. I hate that. I hate that for that guy because, I love Danhausen, man. Ray also says they could survive without Ospreay for a little while, but when those Swerve, it's going to be hard. I think it'll be hard either way to some degree. How hard, I don't know. But I wanted to kick off the show with that today and really get into it because, again, these are two quality people. Not just quality wrestlers, quality men, okay? And if you have the opportunity to have one or both of these guys in your locker room, you sign that check. You grab them as soon as you can, right? And Khan did the right thing. Ospreay and or Strickland are available. You sign that check. You get what I don't say whatever they want. It's got to be limits, of course. You got a business run, but like sign these guys, man. And they did. It's a smart move because I want them in my locker room no matter what. They're fantastic. They're both. We've seen what these two guys are capable of. Together, separate, all the above. As faces as heels, fantastic. These two guys, two of the best in the world, honestly. Maria says HBK had to change his wrestling style when he came back from 4 years of time off. Yes, good call. And how much of that did people miss? Did people miss the old guy? Like Rey Mysterio. Here's another example. Look at Rey in 2025 versus Rey in the year 2000. Do we think that's the same Rey Mysterio? I mean, I'd be curious to go back and watch some of those matches and see things that he no longer does in the ring now. I mean, at some point, kids, like we said, father time or mother time, right? Comes a knocking and you got to answer. You ain't got to answer. She going to knock down the door any freaking way, right? She coming in. I'm just saying. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. JB says they just extended Danhausen in 2026. Well, they extended because of the injury. Because in my opinion, and look, I've always been back and forth on this, adding injury time to a contract. Part of me says, I get it. We haven't been able to use you since you were hurt. We want to get our money's worth. Other sports, I think, do this as well. I think it's not unheard of. WWE does it all the time. They do it all the time. All the time. All right? AEW is not a villain for doing this. Khan isn't a villain for doing this. What I don't like is the fact that Danhausen hasn't been on TV in forever. That's what I got a problem with. I love me some Danhausen. That crowd loves him some Danhausen. Where's he at? How come he's never on TV? Again, injury's different, but supposedly he's been ready for a while. They're not going to put him on TV. He came back one night at the Ring of Honor show, December, I think it was. He hadn't been on TV since then. What is going on? I mean, some people believe there's theories out there that, because him and Punk are bros, that's maybe why it's some sort of weird vindictive thing going on. I can't speak to that because I don't know. But like, again, I look at that and I'm like, I'm a sucker for Danhausen. I'm sorry. I love the guy. I know it's a different breed in terms of Will and Swerve and, Hangman and everything, but I've never looked at Danhausen as just a comedy act. I think Danhausen is an attraction. Honestly, that's how I've always felt about the guy. Ray says Swerve is so over. Well, 200% is as well as they got to think about the next move. Crazy thought, maybe push Sammy G. Boy, Sammy Guevara did some penance tagging with Dustin, which is not how I mean it to sound. I don't mean that tagging with Dustin is penance for anything. Don't misunderstand me. But I think taking that guy off live television and putting him on a streaming network that you have to pay for, I think there was something to that. I can't sit here and tell you what it was because I don't know. Now, did they, meaning Khan and his guys, believe that was the best use of Sammy? I can't speak to that. Maybe so. Was it penance for something else that maybe we're not aware of? That's entirely possible. Entirely possible, man. I don't know. But like, get that kid back on live TV. It looks like they're making an effort to do it now. We'll see how it works. JP says, that's stupid. Use the talent that you have and stop wasting time by not. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. Maria says, Danhausen is wrestling's Eddie Munster. That's a funny comparison. All right, kids, let's talk about the rest of this card. There's a big time matches on this card. I want to go through here and I want to get your thoughts. We'll pick out a couple here and there and find out what you kids want to talk about. What's piquing your interest? How about Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the matriarchy of Kip Sabian and Killswitch with Mother Wayne in a tag team match? For me, the Cope and Christian stuff has been so incredibly forced and rushed. I do believe there's something going on behind the scenes we're not privy to, which is why they're choosing to rush it as much as they are. I can't speak to what that thing is. I don't know. But I feel like there's something going on that, again, we're just not aware of at the moment. Okay? But it is incredibly rushed. I'm just not here for that. I think this would have worked, and it may still work. I think this would have worked tremendously well had the timing been better. The timing is pretty crap. I'm just saying, But I'm going to give it an opportunity. I love Christian. On Christian's worst day, he's still one of the best guys in the ring. And on the mic as well. His character work is tremendous. I don't think anybody can argue with that. All this weird, I'm your dad stuff, he's my son. It's so freaking weird. But I love it because it works. It works for him. He's great at what he does. I don't think there's any question that he's great at what he does, man. Right? So yeah, I'm going to give it an opportunity. I'll give it an opportunity. I won't poo-poo it too much, but I will, again, I just believe the whole thing has been incredibly rushed. Robbie, good to see you, my friend. No worries. Maria says the story was rushed too quickly. I agree. JB says Cope and Christian probably have a timeline when they want to retire. They're not spring chick. Great point, JP. Maybe the rush is coming from their end. I still believe there's a countdown to something. I think it's a countdown to either somebody's returning or there's, like you said, JP, that maybe it's a matter of we have such and such date. We want to have our last match as a team. There's something like that going on. I believe there is anyway. I just think it's something that none of us are privy to at the moment. Maria says Christian wanted to finish the story with Wayne properly. Yeah, and I think the turn was great, wasn't it? Because it was completely unexpected. No one saw that coming. That's what you want. You never want a turn to be, well, we saw that coming, right? It can still work, but it's much better, in my opinion, when it's from out of nowhere. I think that's so much better, dude. But that's me talking, right? We also have, this is a lights out steel cage match. It's a big one, kids. We just talked about Will. This is the match that he's in. The Golden Lovers of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay, of course, versus the Death Riders of Claudio and Mox, and the Young Bucks, Matt, Nick, and Gabe Kidd. Lights out steel cage match. I feel like everybody in this match is going to get their stuff over and get their stuff in, right? And I think everybody's going to have their chance to shine. I think you'll see one finish after another. I think it'll be a fun match. I hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody takes very good care of themselves. Gabe Kidd is still nursing, I believe, a knee injury that caused him to not compete in the G1, and suddenly he's back. And, I hope everything's fine. Again, I hope that the AEW medical staff would not just put people in the ring until they're ready. So hopefully Gabe Kidd is good to go, because Gabe at his best is great. And he's come such a long way too, right? So I'm very much looking forward to this match. No kidding, no doubt. So again, if everything is on the up and up with him, they take care of Will. All the guys in the ring will know the deal with Will. And these are all pros, kids. They're all pros. They're going to take care of him. Will's going to take care of himself. He should be fine. I hope the same for Gabe as well. JB says, but AEW does have a history of rushing stories sometimes. Cup told Christian some time off to get his head together and was back 2 weeks later. Oh, my God, didn't he? I do like when we thought it was going to be a babyface promo and Cope threw it to him, and Chris was like, I want all you idiots to sit down and get, Cope's like, whoa, no, that's not what we said, I do like that. I don't hate the thing. I don't hate the reunion. I kind of really like the notion that Christian Cage is still heel and that Cope really doesn't want him to be heel. I'm kind of really here for that. Can I be honest with you? I really am here for that. What do you guys think about that lights out steel cage match? Because I personally think it's going to be awesome. I am concerned for the guys that are hurt going into this match. Again, I want everybody to be okay. I'm concerned for the guys who are healthy. I'm always concerned. I want everybody to come out of a match happy, healthy, and safe after having had a great night, and everybody's in one piece. You always want that. We always want that, right? We want the best for these guys and gals. This show will be no different, okay? This is like any other show in terms of I want everybody to be okay here. Obviously, I do. Why wouldn't I, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be fun. I do think it'll be fun. I think there's enough going on in there to maybe distract from Ospreay and Gabe both if they need to, where they can go in other directions. There's a lot of guys in this match. There's a lot of firepower in this match, dude. I mean, think about it. You got a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You got two former IWGP World Heavyweight Champions. 3, right? Former IWGP Tag Team Champions. You've got former AEW World Champions. I mean, there's a heavily decorated, group of guys in this match for sure. For sure. Can't be mad at that at all. We've also got the Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton of Benjamin versus Brodito. That's Brody King and Bandito to you lot. And FTR of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. This is a 3-way tag for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You make it a 3-way tag because it's been said for a while now that the Hurt Syndicate doesn't really want to lose those belts. Now, as I said last night on Peaches and Power Bombs, and kudos to them, and everybody go check them out. As I said on their show last night, is that it's, if you're asking me, Tom, is it 100% true from top to bottom? I would say I don't think so, but I know for sure there is some truth to it. And that's me telling you to trust me, okay? Can't tell you how I know, but I know there's some truth to it. There's no doubt in my mind, all right? That one pinfall that Shelton dropped on TV, how long ago has it been? He didn't want to do that. Again, you don't got to believe me. It's perfectly fine if you don't. I can't make you. But I know what I know. And I've been asked to keep my mouth shut. So I am, by crackle. I'm just letting you know. And again, like, as I said before, as I've said on this show, I said on this show last week, actually, on the main event, if I'm in charge and I'm the booker and it's my company, I tell you when you're going to win and lose. No one else. I mean, producers, you get what I'm saying. The talent doesn't tell me that. That's like an NBA player telling you when he's going to play. I'm the coach. What do you mean you're telling me when you're going to play? Are you hurt? Get on the court. You're paid a lot of money to be here. Get on the court. Right? It's the same thing with Hurt Syndicate, in my opinion. If I need you to lose tonight, you're going to lose tonight. That's it. I don't understand. Again, a lot of this is over our heads and out of our realm of understanding because we're not backstage in AEW. We're not a part of creative. We're not in the locker room. We don't know these guys on a personal level, okay? So we're just going based off of what we hear and what we know and stuff that we're not maybe sure about, right? That's all we've got to go off of, okay? But again, at the same time, I'm telling you, there is some truth to the Hurt Syndicate stuff. Would this be a great way to drop the titles because you don't need to pin either of two guys? I say, yeah, why not? Do I think they're going to lose? I'd be shocked if they lost. Maybe not shocked. Maybe not shocked. I'd be surprised. And you know what? If they do lose the belts, I don't know if it's FTR that should get them. I think Brodito would be a great little run with tag team championships. We'll see. JP agrees, man. Says Hurt Syndicate will win triple threat. Don't see him losing anytime soon. Everybody, please welcome Jay Luft from the Untitled Wrestling Podcast and Bear Mode, a podcast review of the Bear. Jay just got out of the Rev Pro show. How'd Rev Pro go, man? Was Tanahashi there? That's cool. Was he? Everything's in England? And they're in England? So there you go. Very cool, man. Hope the show was great, dude. Yeah, the guys are doing their thing. Jay, Joe, and Big Tasty. So I'm insanely jealous. Hope you guys have a blast, man. Hope you guys have a blast. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to. Can I be honest with you? I like Hurt Syndicate. I've been a fan for a long time. I like those three guys. I really do. Nothing personal, right? I don't run the company. I'm not booking anybody. Okay, it's perfectly fine. Whatever they choose to do. I like those three guys. I like them a lot. They're great. Again, if you have an option to sign those three guys, you sign them. There's no question. You sign them. You don't leave them on the sideline. If you got an opportunity to put those three guys in your locker room, you take it. You take it. Okay. I'm not arguing that point at all. But again, if there's how much truth there is behind the scenes to I'm not going to lose these belts, brother, you don't tell me that. That's my call. Kids, before we go any further, all right, I want you to do me a favor. If you're watching, watch this. If you're listening to the audio, listen to this. But check this out.
Bear Mode, a podcast review of The Bear, begins with the Season 1 preview featuring Tom Clark, Big Tasty, Joe Higgins, and Jay Luft. This fun preview is now available on Boink Studios YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, and follow today.
That video is a bit behind. Do you want to know why? Season 1, Episode 1 is now available, kids. You'll see a new video up for us next Friday where we're flat out telling you that Season 1 is now happening on the YouTube. It is. Brand new episodes. Brand new episodes of Bear Motor Podcast Review of the Bear drop every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check them out. We just dropped Season 1, Episode 1 this past Wednesday. It's a great episode. We hope you guys and gals enjoy it. You'll see YouTube Shorts happening, and you'll see Reels on Instagram and Facebook and Threads as well. That's where we are. So on all three of those channels, and I think we are on Blue Sky as well. So yeah. But do me a favor, kids. Go check out Bear Motor Podcast Review of the Bear. If you're a fan of the Bear, if you've never seen it, watch it in real time as you're listening and watching our shows. If you have seen it, go back and do it again and use our show as an audio commentary if you want to. Now, it's not audio. It's not a video watch along. We're not watching along on the show. But you can go back and watch the episode and then watch our show afterward to get fresh takes immediately after you watch. And boom, it's like we just watched it with you. That's fun, yeah? I think you'll like it. It's myself, Big Tasty, Jay Love, Joe Higgins. We're having a blast. And we are recording as we speak. And 8 episodes in Season 1. We did the preview, we'll do the rundown, and then we're going to keep trucking from there. We're going to do the entire series as we did with the Ted Lasso show. So there's your plug, your shameless plug. So I appreciate you very much for checking that out and checking us out as always. Kids, we also have Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland. Now, let me tell you something right now. In all fairness, Okada is the man. I don't care what anybody says. You can hate whoever you want. You can love whoever you want. Tommy's not the same. I don't care. I love Okada. I think he's great. I've said for a year, and I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Okada, if you had to put money on it, I'll bet Okada feels so much better physically. Doesn't mean he couldn't do that grueling schedule in New Japan where it's night in, night out. I'm sure he could. I did it for years. But that versus this, where he works one time a week and then a pay-per-view, come on, man. And supposedly he's getting paid much better in AEW than he was in New Japan. Take the money, right? And as a fan of Okada, I like that he's in a great place. I like that he's working for a solid company. I like that he's getting spotlight, and he is facing Swerve as we talked about before. Now, if Swerve is indeed still dealing with this injury and is going to have to get it addressed immediately, maybe immediately after Forbidden Door, you can probably bet that Okada is keeping the AEW Unified Championship in this match. It only makes sense, doesn't it? It only makes sense. Okay? What else would you do? I don't think it matters who wins or loses this match. I really don't believe it will, because I think this match is going to be lights out, possibly the best match on the show. And I may have thrown in. I'm going to throw in a couple more opinions than I did on the show from last night. I'm just telling you how I feel. I think Okada and Strickland together, I think they're going to steal the show, in my opinion. I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this, actually. They've got chemistry. They've worked before, and they're both just fantastic. They're both fantastic, man. JP says, especially after what Christian said about helping with Cope, FTR, and not going after tag team belts afterwards. Oh, you're back on the, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Screwing FTR out of this win, perhaps. That'd be good. I think it makes sense, don't you? I'd be here for that. I like when things go somewhere. I'm a sucker for storyline. I'm a sucker for continuity. I'm a comic book fan, right? Comic book fan. Comic books are all, any comic book fan knows this, yeah? But all comic books are the second act. They have to be. Comic book is never first act or the third act. Every issue is the second act. It's the middle of the story, right? Because if not, you're ending the show. You're ending the series. You're into the run, right? So all comic books are the second act, essentially. But I'm a sucker for continuity. I'm a sucker for, what happened tonight dates back to that match 2.5 years ago when the guy said this on the microphone. Oh, I see. And boom, it all connects. I am here for that. I'm a sucker for that. You will have me all day long if you piece back and go to continuity. AEW will do that to a point. They're not so awesome at it. Can I be real? They're not so awesome at it, okay? Not so awesome. JP said, looking forward to all the matches. I agree. I don't think there's a bad match on this card. And when I say bad, I mean like maybe oddly booked. I just don't see one. I think this card is flat out going to be freaking wonderful. Ray says, love to see Swede win, but maybe Swerve. You talking about Swerve? Since he's hurt. They could put it on him, but if he's going out directly afterward, I think that's a pretty good indication that Okada's going to win this match and retain the AEW Unified Championship. Let's talk about Thomas Tony Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Athena. I'm on the record as stating that when you paint yourself into a corner with a champion that can't be beat, well, guess where you are? In the corner. Nothing wrong with that if there's a plan. I don't know what the plan is for Tony. I think Tony's healthy. If there's nagging injuries, I haven't heard about anything. Okay? So, like, as long as she's healthy and she's good to go, you keep the belt on her as long as you can, as long as you want to. But if Athena wins, you haven't hurt Tony Storm at all. Is Athena going to win? My gut tells me no. I could be wrong. I'm fine with being wrong. I love Athena. I think she's great. I think it would be great. It'd be fine if she wins. There's no problem with it. And, Tony would be great. But see, here's what I'm going to ask you. And I'm not trying to compare Tony and Mariah versus Tony and Athena. You can't do this. Not fair. Not fair to anybody involved. But, like, is there enough drama here for you to believe that Athena's going to take that belt Sunday? Because for me personally, there's not. There's just not. Tony is silly, but no one laughs at Tony. They laugh because she's entertaining. Athena's silly as well, but it's a different kind of comedy. Do you know what I mean? It's a different kind of comedy. Athena's character is neurotic and ridiculous, but again, it's just different. It's just different. Mariah May was bloodthirsty when she turned heel. Different dynamic. So again, it's not fair to compare the two, and I'm not trying to. But again, I just don't personally know if there's enough drama here for Tony to lose the belt. Maybe she will. Maria says Athena's winning the women's championship. There you go. I like bold predictions. JP says, I can't stand it. Why do you not like Athena? I'm curious, JP. Why do you not like Athena? What is it about her you don't like? I think she's great. Athena, from a technical standpoint, is by far one of the best women's wrestlers in that company. For sure. I mean, I think Athena's become a trainer to some degree as well. Athena will probably be a trainer when her time is up in the ring. When she decides to hang it up, I think she'll be a trainer. Yeah, because she's great. And again, if there's so many people in this company that if Tom had $1 billion and started his own pro wrestling company, brother, I'd sign him in a heartbeat. She's one I definitely have in my roster, on my locker room. In my locker room, on my roster. There it is. Because I think she's great, man, for sure. We'll see how that goes. If I'm picking in terms of predictions, I'll be bold and say Cope and Christian win their match. I think Death Riders will win the steel cage match. I'll go bold choice and say Brody King and Bandito beat the other two teams, and they'll probably pin FTR to become the AEW World Tag Team Champions. I'll be bold. Why not? It's my show. Okada over Swerve. I'll say Tony over Athena. We got 4 more matches, kids, and we're going to take a home starter weekend. Let's talk about the other women's match on the card. Mercedes Moné defending the AWTBS Championship against Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bozilla. All right, kids. This is going to be good. I think this is a sleeper match, which anything involving Mercedes is weird. Just call it a sleeper. But I think it is a sleeper match on this card. I think this is going to be a very, very good match. Solid is not the way to describe it. I think it's going to be very good. I think you're going to see a lot of counters. I think you're going to see a lot of great mat wrestling. I think this is going to be an excellent match. I really believe that. Alex Windsor hits as hard as any man does. I'll promise you that. And Mercedes is great. Persephone, I don't know a whole lot about her. I know even less about Bozilla. But if they're in this match and Mercedes said yes and Windsor said yes, they've got to be good. Think about that. I don't think this is a matter of we'll help shine these two girls up. I don't think that's what's happening because it don't work for AEW, right? I think this will be fun to watch. I truly believe that. Again, I think everything on the card is going to be great. JB says never jive with Athena in AEW. That's fair. Some people I can't get into either. That's fair. But I do love her. I think she's great, honestly. I think even if I didn't like her character or anything, which I'm not crazy about the character, can I be straight? I'm not crazy about it. But I love her. I love that she's so good in the ring. I love she's freaking awesome, you know? Maria says the pile driver Thomas took is playing a factor. Ooh, interesting. That's good. I like that. Sowing the seeds. So at least there's something they're working with, yeah? JP says match of the night with Monet and Ooh, I like bold predictions. I like that. Maria says Mercedes is winning. She's not losing the TBS title until she passes Jade's TBS title reign. That's a good call, Maria. I really like that call. Well done. I really, really like that. Yeah. And you know what? It's okay if they do it. And it's not like they're trying to get at Jade. Jade didn't do anything wrong. She had a great offer and a great opportunity. She took it. Good for her. Kudos. It's not about erasing her or anything, but I think you're spot on. I think that's what's happening. Good call. Yeah. I think it'd be a good match. Again, I can't wait to see what happens. Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi for the AEW TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher's on another level. Will Ospreay says he is. He is. Kyle Fletcher absolutely is on another level. He's so good. And Kyle is that dastardly jerk of a heel. I got other words. I'm not going to use them. I keep a clean show here. Yeah. But he's a jerk of a heel, a D-bag, if you will. Okay. And it works. He's cocky. He's arrogant. He wears those stupid glasses. It's because that's who he is. It's great. It's really great. I love it, actually. I am totally here for it. Totally here for it. So, yeah. I love it. I love it a lot. I mean, the stuff with Adam Copeland's tough. Some of that blame got laid at his door. Maybe all of it did, which I don't know how Copeland feels about that. Or Adam Cole, excuse me. I don't know how Adam Cole feels about that. I'd be interested to know. But Cole's a pro. Cole knows that no one's intentionally trying to hurt each other. If they are, they don't work very long. You guys know that, don't you? If you're intentionally hurting people, you don't last very long in pro wrestling. No one's going to book you. If you don't know your own strength, that's one thing. You need to go back and take time off and learn a hold or two. Like, learn how to work and then come back. That's what they did with Goldberg. That's what they've done many times. They, meaning whoever, through the years, in many companies around the world. Sometimes guys and gals need more training. They need to go back and they need to figure some things out, and then they bring them back when they're ready, if they're ready. JP says, not like Monet is losing for other belts anytime soon. And you know what? As I said on the other show last night, she has all these belts because the promoters want her to have them. That's why she has them. She didn't win lottery. They didn't be like, well, we got to do some of these belts. Just give them to her. No, she has them for a reason. She's the best person to hold all these titles right now. And look, if I'm wrong, are we going to sit here and say that we disagree with pro wrestling promoters? I guess we can, but we don't run their companies. We don't know what it is they're looking at, what they see every day, what a Mercedes Moné holding their championship means for their company, for their crowds, for their fans. Right? Like, who are we to sit there and say that they're making the wrong move? That's why whenever I hear people say somebody should or shouldn't have a belt, I'm like, I don't get that. I mean, I could agree or disagree with you or whoever, but like, I've never really understood that bit. Can I be straight? I've never really understood that. JP says also that Fletcher makes a great heel. Love to hate that guy. It's fun, right? When everything clicks along and you can slap high fives with the baby face and he's firing you up, and then the heel comes around and says, I'll slap you. And you're booing him. This is what pro wrestling is. That's why every time people come at me and talk about heels and faces don't matter, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. It's okay that you're wrong. People are wrong all the time. You're wrong about that. Heels and faces matter. That's what makes pro wrestling work. I mean, there's certain gimmicks in pro wrestling that always work. The Native American gimmick where the headdress will always work because kids love it. The bizarre, no, I won't say bizarre, but the eccentric, perhaps, kind of out there. I don't want to say homosexual. You guys know what I mean? Like Adrian Street, sort of that outlandish, like flamboyant. There's my word, right? And you could even say Gorgeous George to a certain degree. Dalton Castle. That gimmick will always work. It's always worked. It will always work. There's different variations of it. It'll always work. The cowboy gimmick always works. Hey, man, Adam Page is world champion. In 2025, a dude wearing a fringe jacket and cowboy boots and a big buckle. And he's got Western music with horses, silhouettes of horses on his entrance video. Why? Because the cowboy gimmick always works. It's worked since the 50s. It'll work forever. it always gets over. Real talk. Certain gimmicks always get over. Alma, good to see you back. Hate you're going through some physical stuff, but all the best to you. And I appreciate you very much watching the show. Races Mercedes is so great, 100% different than her WWE days. Couldn't agree more. Folks are blaming Tony Khan for Takeshita winning the G1. Blaming Tony for it? I didn't have this information. We did the show last night, but apparently when Takeshita worked Zach, Takeshita got rocked in that match and didn't remember the promo after he won the match and didn't remember the finish. That's how hard he got rocked. And the next thing you know, they had him on a plane and he worked on Dynamite. Now, should he be working anywhere right now? Do you see what I'm saying? Like maybe let's make sure he's okay, but supposedly New Japan cleared him. More on that as we find out. He had a great G1, I'll say that for him, for sure. Do I think Kyle causes injury? That's how that everyone's laying the blame at his door, but of course it does not mean it was intentional. It should never be intentional. Of course it's not intentional. Yeah, Goldust, Adrian Adonis, good call. I always go Adrian Street's my default because I think he did it better than anybody, with the exception of Gorgeous George. I think he did it better than anybody. Fantastic. Love me some exotic Adrian Street, man. Great name, too. One of the best names ever. I don't want to go past Takahashi. I love me some Takahashi. Talk about eccentric and bizarre. That's Takahashi. He's a different kind of cat. No pun intended. If you know the guy, you know that gimmick. But he's great. I love him. I don't think he's winning here. Of course, I think Kyle Fletcher's winning. But I think it's a fun match. I think it will be a fun match. Takahashi give me everything he can handle and some. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be an excellent match, actually. Zack Sabre Jr. defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Nigel McGuinness. I put this match over like crazy on the tailgate party last night. I won't change my tune. However, let me flesh this out a little bit more for you. Of all the people you could have booked against Zack Sabre, it's Nigel McGuinness. This is nothing against Nigel McGuinness, kids, at all. I love Nigel. I truly do. But Nigel works once every 6 months, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Not the end of the world. It's fine. But sometimes I look at the booking in this company and go, that's an interesting choice. That's all. I'm just going to leave it at that. Doesn't mean I hate it. I'm cool. I'm totally cool. But again, he's not a full-time worker. It's interesting. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. That's all I got. I'm looking forward to this match. Sabre's great. He's fantastic. We know Nigel McGuinness, his history. Fantastic. This is going to be a slow, methodical, in my opinion, I view it as a slow, methodical, one counter after another, one submission hold after another, chain wrestling, mat wrestling. I think it'll be this is awesome chance. I think it could, I think Swerve and Okada will steal the show. This could very well top that. I'm just being real. I think it's going to be freaking great. I truly think it's going to be freaking great, man. JB says the Monet holding all those belts, people look up where the belts are from and puts a spotlight on the other wrestling. I love that opinion. I'm here for that opinion all day. I love that, actually. Great call, JP. Yeah. Put spotlight on other wrestling organizations that might not get the attention they usually might not get. I 100% agree. Maria said New Japan fans are not happy Takeshita won because he is an outsider. He's DDT. Of course he is. We all knew that. That's why I have my doubts. In my opinion, I'm not booking. Tom's not the booker, right? But I think that was Yoda Tsuji's tournament. I think Yoda should have won. That's me talking. Yoda's their hometown guy. I think Yoda should have won. Evil never should have beat that guy. It shouldn't have been Evil and Takeshi in the finals, in my opinion. I like Evil a lot too, by the way. You get rid of that stupid cheating thing that they just can't get enough of. Evil's very good in the ring. Okay, he's very good. He's very solid, right? But me personally, should have been Yoda and Takeshita in the last match, and Yoda Tsuji wins. That's me talking. I'm just saying. What's up, Marie? Yeah, thanks again for having me last night. I appreciate you. I should have had you back on today. You know why I didn't? Because we'd been talking about the same thing back to back, right? From Damn It Vacant and from Hallmark of Greatness and Bear Mode, a podcast review of the Bear, Joseph Higgins. Everyone say hello to Joe in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Joe, are you at the Rev Pro show? Did you go to Rev Pro with Jay today? You guys are going to have a blast this weekend. You're having a blast right now. You guys suck. You bums. Joe says house torture is all cheating and you either get it. And I get it. Look, Joe, I was one of those guys, and you know this, Joe, because I think I said this to you guys in the chat or on an episode somewhere. I don't know where. But I was the guy saying, what's everybody upset about? If pro wrestling were real and heels and faces were real, you'd take every opportunity you had to win a match. Heels are supposed to cheat. That's what heels do. But people hate it because the volume's turned way, way, way up on the house torture, right? It's turned way up. It's to 11. There's a reference. Which is why people have a problem with it. And I defended it. Look it up. I'm on the record. I defended it. I quit defending it now. I'm done. Because at this point, I don't understand what it's there for. I think in doses, it's still fine, right? But, you know, dude, Ric Flair won matches by himself all the time. He did, right? Like, the leader of the Bullet Club, Finlay, whoever, won matches by himself all the time. These guys do not operate that way. Now, of course, they're all booked to do what they're doing, right? No one believes House of Torture is going to the business for themselves. Of course they're not. But at the same time, I just think there's a time and a place, and I think in moderation, everything's great. But I think I'm over it now. I really think I'm over it. I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's hurt Ren Narita. I think it's hurt Show. That's just me. I don't, you could argue that Show's in a better spot because it fleshed out his character. Ren Narita didn't need this. I don't care about Ren's matches now. I cared before. That's one guy. I'm just one guy. Everybody here is allowed to disagree. Have your opinion. It's cool. For me, I don't care about it anymore. House torture is so easily defeated by having like two guys at ringside, but nobody knows that. Joe, well done. How come baby faces never know to do that? Well done. Yeah. Bree says I'm available next week. Hey, I'll take you up on that. I told her as we went off the air, after we went off the air, that I didn't forget about her, but I forget about Marie all the time. And it's never personal. You want to know what it is? I get into this circle of guys I record with, and we all know each other and record with each other all the time. So, like, I'm not going to forget you. I did the same thing to Faye, and I don't want to forget Faye anymore either. I love Faye. You guys are great, man. JB says too much of a good thing gets old after a while. Brother, you said it there. Main event, kids. Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. AEW World Championship. If Hangman is counted out or disqualified, he will lose the title, and MJF is not using his title shots for this match. Oh, my God in heaven. This thing is the cards being stacked, the deck's being stacked in favor of the MJF to win this championship. I don't think MJF's winning the belt Sunday. I think to do so, I don't think you would be negating what Hangman just did by any means, but at the same time, I do not believe it's Hangman's time. I'm sorry. I don't believe it's MJF's time. My kid's texting me right now. I don't believe it's MJF's time. Yeah, sorry about that. This moment of silence brought to you by Tom Cross Main Event. Yeah, so we got to move some stuff out of it. I'm moving locations behind the scenes. I've been in this office space for a few years. I'm moving everything back to my home office at my house. That's why they call it the home office, right? But yeah, so I've got some work to do, and I got some heavy lifting that my kid has to help me out with. So yeah, he will be he'll be here shortly to help me out, hopefully. So we'll see. Ray, yeah, I wouldn't forget you, my friend. Ray says MJF doesn't win, but we'll keep the contract. Yeah, and it's fine. I guess it's fine. But in my opinion, this is me talking. I think Hangman should hang on that towel for a good long time. I wouldn't drop it anytime soon. I wouldn't have him drop it anytime soon. I think Hangman's great. I think he needs to keep the belt for a good long while. Make that win against Moxley mean something. Let's don't erase. Erase is the wrong word. You guys know what I mean, right? I don't mean erase, but let's don't take away from it. Okay? Let's keep that belt on him for a while. JP, I agree with you. He deserves a much longer run as champion. Kids, we are 2 minutes away from being at the top of the hour. If you guys have any questions, non-pro wrestling related or pro wrestling related, anything we didn't cover for Forbidden Door, you got 2 minutes. Make it count. What you guys got? Now you got one. You just got the 1 minute now. Now you're out of time. No. Joe says, I want MJF to lose, beat Hangman down, cash in, and then lose again. See, I said that too. And my idea got ixnayed. But I love that because, Joe, I said on the other show last night that I don't believe that would hurt MJF in the slightest. Do any of us think that would hurt MJF? Because I personally don't think it would. Joe, you and I have not discussed this at all. I love it because it just feeds into that, everyone's out to get me, this isn't fair. I got robbed. And it's perfect for him because he's a D-bag, kids. You guys know that. He's a jerk heel. I'm keeping it PG here. Maria, I know you don't want that. Look, is it too much? Yeah, it's probably too much. Do we need to do that? Why do we keep doing these title shots if we're just going to waste them? That's a good comment. And I can't argue that. I won't argue that because it's fair and it's real. Why are we doing that? And in any company, why are we doing that? Right? What's the point? Why even have them? There's no drama if all you do is take the title shots away or the people fail every time they try to cash in. There's no drama in that. Alma says MJF not going to win the belt, drag it out until next year. Hammond needs to hold on to it for now. I agree with that, actually. Ray says, here we go. Is that DOS Effects? Who you got here? Or Eric B. and Rakim? I guess. And part 2, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. It's hard for me to go against Pete Rock and CL Smooth. I love those guys. I like De La Soul. I love Pete Rock and CL Smooth. DOS Effects for sure. Well, Eric B. and Rakim are legends. They all are. I'll get Eric B. and Rakim. If Adam Cole invited you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole's coat store, we could get free jackets for your family. What style would you get? He said you could give some to your friends. Would you please call me? Yes. Later, want to get dinner, which included fried chicken, tasty fries, and a cold glass bottle of water. Of course. The jacket. I haven't had a leather jacket in quite some time. A friend of mine gave me like a biker jacket, and it was when I lost a whole bunch of weight several years back, and that thing fit. I mean, fit. And I was looking in the mirror like, Tom's looking good, Jack. Now, I am losing weight as we speak. I went to the gym this morning, and I wrecked myself. Well, maybe not wrecked myself, but I was pretty tired when I was done. So I've lost 19 pounds so far, and my goal is to lose at least 40 total. So I got a little while to go, right? My goal was 40, so I've lost 19. Not a bad start, almost halfway there. So yeah, that'd be my answer. Is I'd like to have a leather jacket. Heck with those cows. I'm just kidding. I like cows. JB says they're delicious. Sorry. Don't make Hangman a transitional champ. That would be really, really wrong. I agree. Joe says self-deprecating loser. He's great at it, isn't he? That sniveling heel. He's great at it. Ray says it brings the contract thing down. Christian had a failed contract last year. The fans wouldn't feel like it was a threat anymore. Yeah. But it's also that company, isn't it? That company does some wild and weird and wacky stuff that you're like, what'd they do this for? Would you put it past them? I wouldn't put it past them at all. At all. Okay? Should it happen? I'm not saying it should happen, but I wouldn't put it past them either. Rob says, what do you think about possible rumors of WWE making the final move to get TNA out and trying to make AEW leave when their TV contract ends in 2027? WWE wants AEW gone. And, for anyone that is a diehard WWE fan and will not watch any of their company, you have to understand who you're backing, okay? You have to understand that these guys are ruthless. They don't want any competition. They want AEW gone. And if it were just pro wrestlers versus pro wrestlers, I guess if people wanted to be jerks about it, they could. But at the same time, here's what I tell you. Let's try to forget that all the men and women who are in the ring would lose their jobs and have to go find work somewhere else. You're not going to hire all of them, are you? It's impossible. They didn't sign everybody from WCW, did they? Or ECW, did they? No, they sure didn't. Right? But also, the camera crews, the guys that set the rings up, the dudes that drive the trucks. I mean, there's so many personnel behind the scenes, the upper office. All those people, they're fine with that. WWE wants AEW gone. There's no question. There's no question. I won't back a company like that. I won't do it. I'm not doing it. Not going to happen. I won't support them. Maria says, you've been watching. I have not. Maria, you know what's funny? I've never gotten into the Alien franchises. Never. I was always more of a Predator guy, dude. Right? I've always been more of a Predator guy. Joe's saying yes, but I'm not sure what he's saying yes to. To the WB stuff just now? Oh, man, let me tell you guys. Off camera, we talk all the time about stuff that sometimes I don't really say on camera. Hey, man, look, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, look, and dude, a lot of that's tied to what's going on here, too. It's my show. I'm not going to lie to anybody. You guys know how I feel by now. I'm not going to do it. I don't operate out of hate. I'm not driven by keeping other people down. I'm not interested in that. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not. It doesn't make my day to hurt someone. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to be that person. I don't take joy in people's suffering. I don't see videos of people getting dragged away and think, yeah, that's what I want. I don't want that. I never wanted that. Are you kidding? I don't want that. People can want that. I'm not one of them. I don't take joy in watching other people suffer. I don't take joy in watching people getting tackled. I don't take joy in watching people getting hurt. I don't take joy in watching people lose their insurance, their livelihoods, everything they have. I don't take joy in any of that. It doesn't make me feel better. Oh, we had a problem. Let's break something to fix it. You're not fixing anything. All you're doing is causing people to hate each other even more than they did before. We know treat people's true colors. People show, what is it Maya Angelou said? People will show you who they are, right? It's the truth. We have been shown who people will show you who they are. They flat out are doing it. I got distracted. Apologize. Fernando, can you believe I have still not watched Eyes of Wakanda? Tell me it's awesome. Is it awesome? I have not seen it yet. It's sitting right there on my Disney Plus. It's talking to me every day, asking me to watch it, and I'm never watching it. You know whose fault that is? That's my fault. I cannot believe I haven't watched it yet. And no, freaking Fernando, I also have not watched the first episode of Peacemaker. From what I understand, season 2 has got some twists and turns that you do not expect, and that the narrative evidently becomes something unexpected, that it switches at some point, and it's good. If anyone saw that Superman movie and doesn't believe in James Gunn at this point, I don't know what to tell you. Believe in James Gunn. All right, he won't let you down. Honestly. Love that guy. Talk about someone who knows what he's doing. For real. Well, kids, guess what? We are ready to start our weekend. That's going to do it for us here today. Folks, if you will, I'm going to put it here one more time, and this would mean most to me if you go do that. Everybody here in this chat right now, if you are not subscribed right now, today, to Boink Studios on YouTube, let me just tell you, I'm doing all I can to build that channel, okay? I'm putting a lot of effort, a lot of work into it. I'm not asking for a dime from anybody. None of my content's behind a paywall. The only thing I've ever asked is to follow me. That's it. Subscribe to that channel. Turn on your notifications. When you see my stuff, watch it. Give it a like. Comment. I'll speak back. Fernando will tell you, I comment back. I engage with the viewers, okay? I want to grow that channel more than it is right now. Can't do it without you. Can't do it without the work I'm doing behind the scenes, but I especially can't do it without you guys watching and commenting and liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. Everybody here, please and thank you. All right? JP asked new. JP, links there, brother. I don't want to keep hawking the coffee thing. I can. Everybody's welcome to get. I've had a couple folks throw some money in there. I appreciate you very much. Joe will tell you, this stuff isn't free. What we do as podcasters is not free. The stuff that we pay for behind the scenes to make these shows happen, it's coming out of our pockets. All right. This is a labor of love to a large degree, but also because a lot of us want this to progress into something in the future. Okay. But I have a hard time putting stuff behind a paywall. But, you know, JP, I don't want anybody to get twisted. I'm not here begging for money. It's not what this is. My only comment about this has always been, If you appreciate what I'm doing and you want to show some love, throw a couple bucks in, buy me a coffee. That's all I've ever said. Again, I'm not asking for anything else. I really, truly am not doing it. And you know what? Since you brought it up, I'll put that in here as well. How about that? And you can not put money in. You can put money in. All that is entirely up to you, kids. Entirely up to you. Again, as I've said many, many times here before, I'm not asking for handouts. I don't believe in that. I work for what I get, okay? Everything I've ever gotten in this life, I've worked to earn it. All right? No one hands me anything. I don't take it. I don't like that. I've had help along the way, and I appreciate it. I'm grateful. But it feels weird taking handouts from people, man. I can't stand it. Just me. But if you appreciate the work, if you appreciate the efforts you see every week and that you hear on the audio shows that you see on the Boink Studios YouTube, on boinkstudios.com, throw me a few bucks. I'll take it. And I'll thank you on the air publicly. Thank you to Ray. Ray's hit me a couple different times on there. Ray, you're awesome. I appreciate you very much for supporting. Everybody stay tuned to Ray. We got some news coming for Ray very soon. Very soon. Maybe by this weekend. Yeah, we're doing things behind the scenes. Ray's got some stuff in the works. Everybody pay attention to it. Joe says, I'm very bored because of this. Hallmark will never change. Again, it's a labor of love. But Joe will tell you he'd love for his shows to explode and start making some serious cash. We all do, right? Maybe I'm peeling the curtain back a little bit too far. There's a lot of competition out there for what we do, all right? Let's be honest. There's competition for everything. Name a topic, and I guarantee there's at least 5 podcasts about it. Maybe 100. That's the truth. Name it. Name the topic. I guarantee you'll find competition on it. But we do this because, number one, some of us like to talky. Some of us got opinions, and we love the stuff we love, and we want to talk about it, okay? We've been podcasting for years before we ever started podcasting. If you ever had a buddy that you talked to, a close friend or family member that you always talked to about the show you watched, about the comic you read, about the book you're going to buy, that's a podcast. I had them for years. I've done way more than the shows you see today. It's just that none of it was recorded. Back in the day, a good friend of mine, this is true. We did audio cassettes of me and him talking, and we made out like we had our own talk shows. That's the truth. I still got them somewhere. And no, you can't hear them. I'm sure they're awful, right? We were kids. I'm sure they're awful. But even then, I had the bug of something I didn't understand yet. Now I have it, and it's like an addiction. I'm like Dave Chappelle doing this all the time, right? It's true. I'm not trying to make light of anybody. But yeah, I love it. I love it. That's all I got. Kids, do me a favor. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy Forbidden Door Sunday. If you're in the UK and you're watching the shows live, do me a favor. Have a blast. Kudos to all the guys I record with and gals. I appreciate everybody for making me look good all the time. You guys are awesome. Thank you to everybody watching live and after the fact, listening live and after the fact. You guys are the best of all time. Be sure to check out Boink Studios on YouTube. You will find Bear Mode, a podcast review of the Bear, which, as we said before, is our brand new podcast. We've got more coming, but that's the latest one. I'll be appearing on a brand new show, not with 3 other guys, actually. It's not even my baby, but I can't wait to get started. More on that to come. We stay busy, kids. We're always popping, right? Always doing that. We're doing something. So again, thanks for giving us your time and attention. Thanks for supporting the show in any way that you do or that you can. Again, it's always very much appreciated. Kids, again, have a great weekend. Enjoy Forbidden Door. If everything goes well, you will see us a week from today. So do me a favor. Be sure, again, you subscribe on the YouTube. Don't forget about us, and tune back in here next week, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, to see the next episode of Tom Clark's Main Event. That's all we got, kids. Thanks much for hanging out. And we'll see you next time, kids.